Peace, love, and light. Peace, love, and light. Reinforcement videos coming back at you. My next video is going to be subscriber picks and breakdowns. And I definitely got some crazy stuff that y'all sent in. So that's going to be the next video coming soon. But moving on. Reinforcement to show you the type of entities that are in homes that are right around us at all times. This is inside of my living room, and you can see the entity reflecting itself into the glass or mirror. I did a video on this before. I'm just bringing it back. And I got a couple more things that are going to be attached with this. But just take a look. You clearly see the face, the mouth. You see the horn poking out the top of his head. And that's the full shot right there. And that's the mirror. Pull down the light. Then we got a screenshot. So you can see the clarity and detail in the face. See the eye, the nose, the curled up lips, and you see the horn that's protruding or poking right out of his forehead. Got this crazy shot of what people will call an angel. I think the clearest shot I've ever seen. Pull up the light and the focus. You can see his arm. You see his head. You see the wings look organic. The body is flowing down. His lower half is not legs. It looks like a fish tail or a lobster tail. Can't make it up. I'm going to zoom in on his face to show you the detail in the face. Pull down some light. And you can clearly see the whites of his eyes and the black of his pupil. He has a beard. He's wearing a crown that you clearly can see is going around his head. You can see the diamonds shapes that are in it. I'll zoom in closer. Seeing is believing, folks. See it for yourself. And you can see the different colors that encompass, that go around the crown. And then it has the point on top. I'm going to pull the light down more so it can translate through. And like I said, you see his face clearly. Beard, the back of his hair, his crown. You see the little diamond markings going around the crown and a point that's clearly on top. Moving on. You see how the wings are flowing organically, sticking out of his back, literally attached to the scapula. His shoulder is right here. Here's his arm bent. Let's pull down some light on that area so you can see how the wing is attached to his back right here. This would be the bone sticking out. And this would be the wing, the actual material, just like a bird. That's the hard edge that it's attached to. Right there. It is attached directly to his scapula, which will be his upper back or shoulder region. Here's his shoulder. Here's the arm and elbow bend. And let's zoom in on the tail, how it's shaped like a fish tail. It's attached to his body right here. And this is the tail. Fin and all. Give you a better perspective on the whole entity. Pull the light up. And there he is. And you can clearly see he's interacting with something right there. It looks like some type of baby or some type of small entity or creature. I'll pull down the light so you can see that you see eyeballs looking at you. Some type of head. And the angel is extending and reaching out, touching that other creature. Can't make it up, folks. It's really crazy. Now, bear with me. Moving on. I'm going to give you the actual full picture where I caught the angel deity. This is the full shot. And you can clearly see we have a craft that's moving past, and the entity is right here. Zoom in on them for perspective. You'll see it's the same thing. Zoom in on the face. And that's the full picture. And then we have one where I drop the contrast and drop the bright. And we'll zoom in and you'll see the same exact thing. The angelic looking being with the wings, the crown on, with the fishtail. Clear zoom in on the face so there could be no doubt that you can see that white mustache, beard, and the eyes. And of course, the crown is very detailed, especially when I drop the light. And there we have it. So clear to see, folks. Another crop, organic with no contrast added. Massive creature flying through the sky, wings. And you can see that from a distance. Moving on. Massive formation in the sky. Craft is right here, hiding in plain sight amongst this massive ship. A smaller one is docked on it. And I showed you in the last shot right here, we'll go back, that these craft are blacked out when they're moved past the sun. And look at that. The light from the sun can't even penetrate this blackness. Before I go back to the next shot, I'm just going to pull that down and show you that that's an actual ship. This is the light of the sun, and it's still not penetrating and illuminating what people think is a cloud. It's a solid object in there, folks. Okay, now let's go back. Here we go. And remember, massive ship, blacked out, solid object. Anything that can block out light has to be solid. Very simple concept. The ship is right here. So as the sun is actually giving it up. I'll zoom in on it. See the craft? Perfectly hidden in plain sight to people that aren't aware. You can see the circular motion on top of it, or design. Then it has another uniform pattern going around it with lines. This is the cockpit. This is the occupant that's sitting in it. And you can see how it's canted or tilted. on top of the massive craft. I'll zoom in tighter on this geometry right here so you can see that that's constructed. Zoom out. This is where we were. You see the perfect circle with the lines going through it. Looks like this is where you jump in, the porthole. Then the occupant's right here, sitting in it. Try to zoom in on his face. See if we can do something with the light. His head is right here. I'm trying to get it to come in, but it's very hard to see close like that. But at a distance, you can see him. Okay, we have another shot. This is a crop. And from a distance, you can see the occupant sitting right here. You see the construction at the top that I spoke about earlier, that circle with the octagonal shape going around it with the lines. And then that's the shape of the craft right there. Let's see if we can zoom in on the driver. See if his face can come in clearer. There he is. Right there. Now when I zoom out, you'll see him. Craziness, folks. Plain sight. That's one with some enhancement on it. Some shadow, some contrast. Just to give you perspective. And we're right inside the cockpit, zoomed in, looking at some of the faces that are inside of this thing. You can clearly see the detail on the outside of it. Another shot of it with the massive vessel. I mean, you clearly can see like this is something other. Look how black this is. Massive vessel with a smaller one sitting on it. Zoom in. Same deal. Hit the autofocus. And the sunlight's giving it away. And you still see that intelligent design on top. Look at that. Just sitting on top of this massive vessel. And of course, there's all types of beings and entities on the edge. Just standing around. Yeah. Seeing is believing, folks. Real quick before we get out of here. Show you more supernatural stuff on the edge of these ships that people call clouds. Just take a look at this. This is right out of any movie you ever seen in your life with the crazy looking alien creature. With the elongated neck, you see his face, you see his arms going backwards. His legs are bent. And he's yelling at this entity right here. Can't make it up, folks. I'm going to zoom in and hold it tight so you really can see for yourself. Trying to get it to focus. Okay, then we're going to zoom back in. Show you the creature with the elongated neck, crazy looking face, his arms going back like this, and his crazy bent up legs, right out of any movie you ever seen. And he's bending over yelling at this entity right here. I'll zoom out so you really look how his neck is extending out. Then I'm going to take you on top so you can see some of the entities up here with the crazy head garbs on and beard. There we go. If you can't see this guy right here with his head tilted, with his pointed ear, his big nose, his eye, his beard, and he has some type of headdress on. It's a woman next to him right here. And I'll zoom in. Just trying to get the focus in so there could be no doubt that you're looking at a bearded man with a pointed ear, a beard, nose, eyes. You see his face. Very clear to see. The other creature I just described. And in perspective, look where they are. Just trying to put y'all on. This is for my new subscribers that never saw this type of stuff. Then we got a drone that's moving through the sky. It's not a bug. This is a disc-shaped UFO with an appendage off the top and the front. See the energy signature going around it. And when I zoom that picture all the way out, I mean, that's like a speck. And then, of course, we have the strange looking face that's being projected off to the side. The stereotypical alien face with the eye, the nose, the mouth. Then it's creating another side profile of a face. You know, these are the things that are being projected up there. You know, they're trying to make people aware. You know? I mean, that's so clear to see. That's two faces being projected. One's the side profile and one's right at you. You see the wrinkles on the forehead, the giant, humongous eye, nose. You see the mouth. You see the shape of the head. And then you flip it this way. You have some type of other deity. You see his nose, his mouth, his chin, and then you see his eye is connected to this creature's eye. And then when we go here, we have an entity that's holding open a giant book. And if you look close, you can see the writing on the pages, and you can see the bend and the fold, and as you would hold a book out to someone else. I'm going to zoom in as tight as I can, try to get the focus in right. There we go. And you can see the entity's eye shine is white because light's shining in his face, and it's casting onto the pages of the book. You can almost see the written word or ink, whatever is written on this tablet that he has open. And he's standing in the middle right here. This is an altar of sorts. And he has the book open. You see his weird looking face? It's not human. That's the book. And I'll zoom out so you can see where he's standing. Blotting out the sun. The sun is right here. Understand, this is a massive craft, all interconnected, touching and linked up. Not storm clouds just act by accident, intelligent life above your head, entities that are outside of these craft that are having interactions. I just showed you. And then the giant face being projected in the corner. Take your time and screenshot them if you don't see them right away. But what I say is really there. How can you have shadows on something that's in the mid sky? I just did a video on the dome and the firmament because it's glass. Moving on. Just one with highlight on it. Let's go to the guy holding open the book. Even more clear with the contrast. Let's go back to the top where the entity's head was elongated and being poked out. Still see it. The bearded man with the crown on. The craft that flew across. I mean, you almost can see the actual ship. There we go. Okay, moving on. Talk about the waters above. They're real. There's a hammerhead shark right there. Seeing is believing. I mean, you could damn near see the thing's teeth. It's eating something. I'll zoom in on it. You can see it has something in his mouth. Probably some type of soul eater. See the dorsal fin. There's no doubt about it. Right next to him, we have a strange-looking alien entity, the stereotypical gray-looking face with the giant eyeballs with some type of frog creature that's on its back. Looks like the fish creature from that movie that the government was trying to capture. Something that's probably swimming in the waters above. Maybe like off the movie Aquaman, those creatures that were chasing him into the light in the ocean with giant claws. Now I'll take you here on the edge more, way up, and you can see people with their arms open. Looks like the Redeemer statue in Brazil. Trying to get you as close as possible and then get the zoom just perfect. There we go. So you can see that that's someone with a white robe on. You can see his face, his head, everything. He's standing up here with a bunch of other people. They're all on the edge. Understand what I'm showing you, folks. That's way, way up there. And let's zoom out to give you some perspective of how far that is away. Right here. And I'll zoom in again. Show you some of the angels that are sitting on the edge. There's one right here. I'll rotate the picture. Rotate left. Then I'll zoom in to show you where we just were. I'll show you the animal-looking entity with the face of a deer or elk. You see his horns. You see his wings folded down. Here's his body. See the black of his nose. And then we have another one right next to him that's flying away. Wings folded down. Here's a strange looking fish looking body. And here's his head. and horns. And then we scroll over in the picture, we have the image of a woman's face. Clear to see, eyes, nose, mouth, hair, head. And she has all types of entities that are on her shoulder and around her. See this guy right here, he's black with a beard. That's a black woman. I'll zoom in on him, the robe, the black beard. People think it's a game. You can see the black man right there with the beard, the afro. You see his arm coming out. He has a white robe on with a black sash and a silver belt buckle. Here's his other arm. You see his hand right there. It's the same color as his face. And you see the black woman sitting right here. She has something covering up her shoulder. She has pigtails on each side, or look like dreads that are scooped into two bundles on each side. And you see her eyes. Now I'll zoom out to show you where they are. That's the man, that's the woman, that's the giant woman. Seeing is believing, folks. Now I'll take the picture and flip it back the right way. And then we were just on this edge right here. I'll show you the woman. Of course, it's flipped in a different position. Okay. I showed you the man, the black man, and the black woman. But now it's flipped. It's going to be a little hard to translate. But here we have the entity I showed you that's hanging on the side that has the animal face, the angels, just hanging in midair, not falling off. And there's one right here that's flying away. Same type of creature. One sitting stationary, one flapping his wings and flying away. Let's get the zoom right. There we go. And you can see it. Look at that. The fish-looking body, the horny appendages, and the wing folded down. And then the one that's sitting. And I'll zoom out. And they're here. Unbelievable stuff, folks. I know. Got a craft right here, plain sight. People will call a UFO. Cockpit dome is illuminated. Crazy, folks. Peace, love, and light. We're going to end it out like this. Person on the edge of the clouds with his arms open, looking like the Redeemer statue. You could be a skeptic all you want. Seeing is believing, though. Peace, love, and light.